Hello and welcome everyone, I'm C.S.Gilmore and this is Power Wash Simulator. So I did a little digging around and I found that there are audio controls for the water specifically and whatnot, so hopefully the hose spraying won't be quite so distracting. But yeah, wanted to jump into here for now. Cards on the table, we live at the old house of Esther Death, the eccentric actress who played the Wicked Witch in that classic movie and vanished mysteriously in the national park. We know all the rumors surrounding the place. We also know we've picked up an absolute bargain. We don't mind if the furniture moves around a little. That's just next level feng shui. But the grubby exterior is really getting to us, and all the other power washers in town are too scared to set foot in our yard. If you could help us out, we'd be eternally grateful. Laura Smith and Jenny Pebbles. Alright, this sounds interesting. We've got a lot of cleaning. Messages in this is this the extraordinary Dr. Power Wash? We got your details from Cal. We've got a dirty old house in need of some TLC. So yeah, we'll jump in, and I do apologize for the water being so loud in the last few episodes. I was not really thinking about adjusting everything for it. Oh, that's weirdly quiet now. You might notice the odd, super weird, creepy sign on the outside of the house. It's nothing to worry about. This one? According to Jane's research, they're written in Enochian, the ancient language of the angels. Cool. Okay, that's actually possibly a little too quiet. Give me 1 second. I turned it. It was up here originally, so let's do that. Like, I do want to hear it a bit because it's part of the whole. Okay, there's a happy medium here somewhere. I know it. Let's play it right there. Alright, yeah, now we hear it, but it's not like everywhere. Yeah, I think we can work with this. A little less jarring to the ears and easier to, say, hold a conversation or something in the process. Alright, that one is not cutting it for the pressure I need. Let's try this big. There we go. That's doing the trick, I think. But yeah, I wanted to hit on this because my kids have actually enjoyed watching some of this as well. And I can replay like old missions in free play, and you get a little bit of money for it, just not as much. But the downside is it doesn't replay all the banter like the text messages and everything. So I wanted to get some more of this done in case my kids want to see more without the risk of losing some of the more interesting aspects of the recording, you know? Can't run while I do. Okay. Got it. Okay, classic, really messy everything. Kinda curious what all that's about and how you got that kind of mess on some of this. Because some of that seems very... like messy on a very specific level. Alright. Anyway, putting off recording the last bits of Pacific Drive for the moment. I felt like I wasn't there mentally enough right now to give that a proper go. Kind of similar to not continuing my currently recording more blueprints at this moment today. It won't be releasing this episode won't be releasing until well afterwards, but happy Memorial Day, everyone. that is the today for me right now. Had a really nice Memorial Day with the family. Got out to church picnic. Got out to see a parade. All that good stuff. It was a nice day, and the weather was about as good as we could have hoped for, considering we've had weeks of cold, dreary weather. So having a nice week of actually really good weather, or not a good week of weather, but rather a day of really good weather. We'll see if it sticks around for the rest of the week. Uh, was very refreshing. We all got a little more sun than we probably should have in some cases, but no, I don't think I did. But that's because I tend to avoid going out in the sun more than I have to. Otherwise, my main things lately, you probably have seen by now. I've taken a break from talking about the Warhammer books. Part of this is because I haven't been reading them lately, and I just wanted to take a break from doing some of that. It's how I tend to do things. I was nowhere near done, but okay. Game says it is, but it is. But, yeah, so it's more of a, how to put it? Yeah, I haven't been reading that lately. I've been doing other things. One of those other things is I've been reading other books and whatnot. Mostly I've been on Royal Road lately, enjoying some dungeon core type stories, which I found a few good ones. They were really fun. They haven't got they're all sort of they haven't gotten to endings yet, but there's been a few that I've been really enjoying. I've caught up to like where they are currently, and I hope they continue because I like the stories. Big one, took me a while to get through, was There Is No Epic Loot Here, Only Puns. And that one is a ton of fun. I think comedy-ish dungeon crawler, or dungeon core story. It's a dungeon core that doesn't want to kill people. And is trying to, and it kind of has some interesting tendencies of breaking the systems that it's connected to. But they've got some really good world building, the lore is interesting, and the characters are fun. There's lots of, because you get a lot of characters involved, and they're all done really nicely. I've been enjoying it. I would say, if you like that sort of thing, check it out. If you want something with a little more of a horror twist with a dungeon core that is killing people, there's one called The Cabin Is Always Hungry. And that one is so far been an interesting read. Person gets ritualistically sacrificed by a cult. And unbeknownst to the members of the cult that sacrificed them, and obviously to the person being sacrificed, the ritual is to turn them into a dungeon core, of which there are multiple types apparently in the universe. Ranging from puzzles, the ones that tend to do more puzzles things, trials by combat, that sort of deal. But they end up being a rarer core, a death core. And unfortunately for them, that means the way they grow and the only way they survive and whatnot is by killing people, luring them in, killing them, and of course they go after they try to go as much as possible after the cultists that did everything to them, but they, other people get dragged into the whole mess as well. They have some interesting ways of doing it, like how the core doesn't necessarily get a ton of say in the matter in some cases, due to a bit of a uncontrollable hunger scenario, or sort of along those lines. it's an interesting development in how it's portrayed and done. I've been enjoying that one as well. I'm hoping that'll continue at some point because I've once again finished it. There was what was it called? The Dramatic Core. That one was sadly currently a bit short on what content is available, but more of a core that necessarily isn't a person but is intelligent, ends up being a pen, not just a gemstone type deal, but like a gemstone encrusted pen. And they aren't so interested in killing people either, though there is some killing of creatures and other things, invaders, and there's some killing involved and whatnot. But they all primarily are more interested in doing plays. And adventurers can get experience and whatnot from, instead of fighting monsters necessarily, than instead by joining in and being part of it. What was that? Aimed by that was a fun little setup there. I rather enjoyed it. But I think still my favorite is there is no epic loot here, only hunt. Because it's the idea is the dungeon's trying to tell people, look, there is no epic loot here. Stop trying to kill my monsters. Stop trying to kill me. And I'm not trying to kill you. If you don't try to kill me, I won't have to defend myself. Type of stuff. And so, yeah, it's a very interesting story. Lots of characters, but they're well portrayed, and they get a lot of characterization. Where you get all sorts of different things. Plus, you get a lot of background lore over time. Like, they actually do a good bit of world building, which I'm very happy about, is having a bit of lore set to that world and everything. Of how dungeons work, why there are dungeons, and why is this dungeon different. And why are things allowed to be different in this case? And it gets really, really weird at times, but there is some hilarity involved. Like an insane kobold, or also the dungeon systems gaining sentience. Maybe because they were supposed to have sentience at some point, but maybe because the dungeon broke the system. There's a lot of mushrooms involved as well, much to the dungeon's dislike. As well as the classic situation of, I want to create something nice and friendly. Looks like a horrible, monstrous abomination that will murder you in 16 different ways. I want to create something deadly, actually, for this part. Or that could at least put up a fight if necessary. Looks like the most adorable little thing. I think one situation of that was trying different things out, creating new critters that don't count against their dungeon monster limit or something like that. And they end up creating a little pig critter. And it's adorable. And they try various variations on it. And it's adorable, and they love it. And one of the variations they make accidentally ends up being a kind of a black hole, a pig type thing that can just suck stuff up. And that's a pretty handy feature in some cases. But if it hits a certain maximum amount, it might create a new Big Bang effect. So, yeah. So the dungeon's like quickly like, and we're gonna erase that before something bad happens. But there's all sorts of other cool things that go on. That whole setup. Okay, whatever that is gone. Good. Doggy? Doggy? Doggy friends. There's no doghouse around here, is there? Check around the back. Let me just take a look. Oh, there's another one of those. That looks like a rocket. Another. They really made use of these volleyballs or soccer balls. Oh, the grass! I just noticed the weird way the grass is portrayed. That is kind of. Wow, this place has seen some better days. That looks like. Makes me think of Dome Keeper, oddly enough. Like, protective dome, defensive turret, underground mining area. Something up there. Something there. The Y thing. I wonder if this is based off an actual language or not. It would be kind of funny. I could so see some game developer doing that, like basing some of this off an actual language. So if you did a translation, then you could get a loose message. It's probably something silly. I don't know. But yeah, that's been my thing lately. You know, there's a lot of this is wood. Let's try something here that I haven't done with you guys, but I tried it a bit on my own. Where is it? There's it. Nozzle. Wood cleaner. So these balls don't last for long, but they are extremely effective in what they will do. As I sat on the sofa just now, I heard a strange sound. A sigh-like sound. Spooky. So yeah, you kind of want to focus on just covering as much of it as you can while the studs are available, because when they run out, they're out, and you have to buy a new bottle. Thankfully, the bottles are like, what, $10 each, I think, but it's still kind of annoying. But they can be really good for just quickly getting through it. You can kind of tell where the level is by the coloration on the bottle. Oh, we're about to run out. And we're out, I think. And then this thing is nowhere near as effective on its own, though. So as a cleaner, it kind of sucks just by itself. Alright, let's refill and boom. Just gonna do a quick area clean as much as I can of this with this while I've got it. I'll have to do some spot cleaning afterwards, of course, but it's better than the alternative in some cases. Out of wood cleaner. Right. As you can see, we still have a long way to go. So, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's actually worth it to have it, or to use it. Let's put an extension on this. There we go, just a little bit of one. Definitely feels like it's still faster sometimes to just use the normal nozzles. Kinda wish you could combine them a little better, but you know what? It's not one of those games where it's meant to be a competition for how fast. Well, okay, it can be a competition for how fast you can go if you do some of the challenges, trials. There are a number of those, and those do try us to, can you clean this so fast? Or can you do this with some minimum, without breaking the minimum amount of water usage and whatnot? And so it gets complicated. Good enough. I'm also learning that with this game, it does not matter, like, you don't have to get every little nitty-picky spot necessarily on every little thing. because it's more of a moderate percentage of it. That means, like, I don't want to leave a big spot somewhere, because that'll still count it against me and make it not finish. But, like, if I miss a little skinny spot, I don't necessarily have to go backtracking. Because it's mostly just trying to get as much of it as is necessary for it to count as done. There we go. There we go. So far, so good. Here's where they're gonna go with some of this house, like design, and just overall game design. I mean, obviously they aren't worrying about being serious in this game. They're doing weird stuff. They've got they've got a ghost design here. They've got, I mean, they've got Warhammer DLC. It's not worrying about realism necessarily. Also, this would take so much longer, to be such a messier job to clean in real life. If it was this filthy. I'm not even sure if I'd keep the house if it was this filthy in real life. Be like, right, just burn it down and start over. It'll be easier, cheaper, safer, healthier. Seriously, this house looks like it got buried underwater for a while with like sewage water and yeah, bad times. Missing somewhere on this railing. I am missing something. Okay, on here, what am I missing? That's a post. That's its own thing. Well, hopefully it's not trying to get me to get some weird spot in between there, since I apparently can't get in there. Missing. Ah, there's where I'm missing. So, I do notice is I can go duck down and go underneath. There we go. Much better. Sometimes it does get really tricky on the game. It does care about some of that. Post is done. Let's get this ceiling. Oh, I hate to have this dripping on me. That's so nasty. Also, to get this much water in this thing, we'd have to be dragging a high-pressure hose probably around everywhere. Like, be hooked up to a hydrant, I would feel. Like, just to get this much water and this much pressure. It'd be such a pain. Need like a... Actually, probably would have a really noisy pressure engine there attached to this whole thing, then attached to a hose. It would be pumping water. Yeah, like that, maybe attached to a hydrant or something like that to get the necessary pressure and the amount of water needed. Either way, it would be such a pain. It would take so long to go through some of this. As you can see, I still have to do a lot of work on some of this stuff, even after using that special cleaner. It just doesn't cover it well enough to make it work in some cases. Come on, go. Where do I need to get? Underneath the edges, on this side, that side. There. Okay. Another post. Fencing setup. Okay. Get some angles on here just to try to get underneath and around the edges. No, I think that's mostly what I'm gonna get on this side. Okay, so we get this porch decking. I do find it a little weird. No, I guess this is a separate piece of wood, but this decking is so solidly set up that it kind of looks like it's just a single piece. Like the wood board texture is very blended. Every once in a while, I get a little bit of an angle where I'm like, yep, there's a board. There's a different board. That sort of deal, but it just doesn't show up easily. Whew. Let's see. Other news. Hoping to get some more recordings done with blueprints when I'm a little less brain dead. We've making some major progress as well as gained up to gained 6 of the 8 sanctum keys and getting a large portion of the other matters sorted out. I think we've got all the layers we can. We've got 7, and Alazar said we wouldn't be able to get all 8. As disappointing as that is. So I'm curious to see what will end up being what. There's also a matter of I still have to get the sigils, even though I've gotten the 6 of the sanctum keys. I've only actually solved 2 of them. But I think as soon as I get a certain book, then I should be able to get at least 1 or 2 of the others. Did you hear that weird rumbling noise? They're getting the classic, which horror movie would that be? They're getting one of the classic false alarm. Jenny, put the washer on spin. Okay. I love the concept that these people are here right now inside, just watching me. And even though I never see them at all. Which I guess is kind of realistic, but also a little on the creepy side. Gotta get all that. There we go. Much better. Much better. We got that. We got that. That wall's done. That's gonna be being on the roof probably. Get the rest of that. I do need to get up on the roof, but let's work on more of these walls here for the moment. Oh, this one's still. Ma'am, I'm pretty sure your ghosts are not supposed to affect the outside of your house so much. Is your yard also haunted, or is it just the inside? Because, this is bad. That'd be a weird touch, though, if, like, you know, I got through a certain part somewhere, and then part of the wall just starts being nasty again. There's something looking at like an eye, and but yeah, there's some ways that I could see this game doing some really weird things to mess with you if it felt like it. I kind of don't think it will mess with me like that, just because it doesn't feel like it's that responsive of a game in that regard. It's meant to be more relaxing, less, haha, yeah, you were trying to clean that. Like they don't do the like some of the other cleaning games I've played where they you tripped over the bucket, splashed dirty water everywhere, everything's filthy again. Clean it, slave. Some of the games I've played get real nasty about it. Is that some sort of box or a cat? Anyway, keep going. So I'm actually really happy that this game is much more chill about the whole experience. I think that's what it's designed to be and why it's so as popular as it is. Because it is a much more chill and don't worry about it type of game. Just have fun, relax, enjoy. Twisty the way of where I'm actually spraying angle wise. Alright, there we go. So, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go grab the ladder. We're going to set it right here. Then we're gonna go up the ladder. Box inside a box. Here's the deal. Can I actually erase these while I'm working on it? Or yeah, okay, yeah. They don't just it isn't just they have to keep going until they disappear. I can just erase them. Okay, much better. Missed the spot. There we go. Trim, trim, trim. There. Stuff to get this. Give me 1 second, Ron. I hear my daughter, my youngest, crying about something. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Disaster averted. Child. We've just been recently getting our youngest moved into sleeping in her own bed, and she still has her moments though where she wakes up and is none too pleased about it. Usually it's because she can't reach her bottle or something else that is when she's thirsty, or her diapers being changed. It could be a few things. Or she's too hot, too cold. The usual problems. You kind of learn to deal with when you have children and having to take care of them. Make sure they don't die. Despite their best effort to possibly do just that. Because boy, do my children sometimes seem like they're trying for it. As they fling themselves around the room. They're like, you are going to fall and die, and I'm not cleaning it up. I love my Firefly references. There are so many good ones they apply in these circumstances. Some things I've learned, though, is there are some shows and some games that have really stuck with me more than others, of which I tend to reference a lot. For example, Baldur's Gate. Not Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate. The first one. Loved that game. Played it a ton. There are ogres in it. And one of their lines is, it goes along the lines of, me will crush you to two! That's their, primary go-to voice line when they are fighting them and they get into it, going on the attack. Turns out, that line stuck with me quite well because I'd like to use it on my children when I'm grabbing them to give them a big hug. It's fun. They think it's funny too. Generally. Unless they're in the, don't touch me, I'm being cranky. As sometimes they tend to. It depends. Kids. Being what they are. Alright, there's that one done. Good bit of progress here. Alright, since we're over on this corner, let's just go this way first. Yep, there we go, around that, down there, over this. All the bricks, The edging, and the edging. More bricks, so many bricks. Bricks everywhere. Another line that I found that has stuck with me a lot, and that I tend to use on multiple occasions, is, like I mentioned a little bit ago, Firefly. So many lines there that were so quotable under so many conditions. One of them being, one of you is going to fall and die, and I'm not cleaning it up. Another one being, the pitter-patter of tiny feet running around in giant combat boots. Shut up! Though I have rather enjoyed lines from Firefly for non-child related purposes as well. For example, for D&D. Okay, this is going to be a real pain to get that part of that above that window right if this doesn't come clean eyes up in this area. Hopefully I can get enough of it clean down here, because the window frame is going to be a real pain to get that upper portion. Thank you, that saves me a massive. Alright, going through it. Missing something here. That's it. Excuse me? Did I sneeze? There we go. Post is good. Veranda, yep. Oh, wall is still missing a spot. Where am I missing stuff on the wall? Wall, reveal your secrets. Alright, I think you are making me have to get up here a little bit. Come on. Stuck on that. There we go. Alright, let me try getting back. Maybe that'll work. That wall is still missing something spot-wise somewhere. Where is it? Can I put my ladder in a position where I can really get a... Ah, there you are. Okay, I didn't realize there was so much dirt right there. Come on. Come clean. No, you want to. This wall is proving really weirdly difficult. And touchy. Usually it's like, oh yeah, you got enough of it. Don't worry about it. This one is like, no, there is a spot somewhere to lens it. Alright. Made it. We're good. Moving on. Whoa, okay, that was weird. We, I think glitched that out a tiny bit. Let's get this front area sidewalk while we're here. Erase the evidence of the doggy. No one must ever know we live here. Ooh, that's a nice little texture on the sidewalk. Actually makes it look like it isn't completely flat. Is it bad that I kind of look at these textures a lot more than I used to? Especially since I have tried using textures myself on occasion with things like trying Blender. One of these days I really need to sit down and just do stuff with Blender and make something and turn it into a video. But I keep putting it off and whatnot. It is not easy to use Blender, especially high learning curve, and I just haven't had I haven't had enough drive to just sit down and learn some of the stuff I need to learn to make it happen. Alright, don't have to clean the mailbox. Good. Why are you flashing? No, really, why are you flashing? That was weird. No, it's still doing it. Alright, well, for intense purposes, let's, deal with the flash. That's gonna bug me otherwise. I don't know if that was like the game trying to give me a little helping hand if I wasn't cleaning a new piece in a while. It's like going, oh, but there's a piece right here. Or if that was something to do with like the idea that it's haunted. I don't know what they're going for. How do Dirt Finder? I got a real doozy for you when you can spare a minute for us over at the recreational grounds. Okay. Hello, is this the Grime Bandits? I need some help with my poor little play school. Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare to clean. Oh, another thing, careful how you go around the volcano. Huh? The volcano? We went down there to enjoy a smoky sunset, and Jenny saw a UFO pop out of the top and disappear before you can say, look, a UFO, where? Alright, so that makes sense with our friend being a volcanologist. And now I'm kind of questioning if there's aliens actively in the area and maybe our friend is an alien. Are we like a government cover-up unit? Like trying to cover up the fact that an alien UFO just took off out of the volcano and covered everything in soot without causing an actual eruption? Or, I don't know. I'm kind of stretching for ideas here on the lore and the storyline that this game could throw at us. They could do basically anything they wanted, I suppose. This place is nasty, though. Alright, we're almost done with this bit. Yeah. Get along here. Come on, gutter. There we go, work with me. Deal with the annoying flashy roof. Hopefully. Hopefully once it's clean it won't flash at us anymore. Maybe the idea is the ghosts were like, we really want this part cleaned. If you don't mind. That would be an odd little setup there. But I kind of suspect it was more just a, hey, a glitch happened. And it was, for some reason, that piece was triggering either a weird reflection effect with lighting, or it was triggering the, like, the tab key effect ad nauseum. Something seemed off for it, for sure. Regardless of whatever it was supposed to be doing, it was definitely, I think, doing something it wasn't supposed to be doing. Alright. Make me have to bring the ladder over here to get the right angle on a few pieces of this, please. I'll have to nitpick my angling just to get some of this. Alright, we're good there. Nasty stuff. And it looks like the Exorcist was up. The Exorcist possession ghost girl was up here barfing on everything. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. Though actually, this could also be lichen or something like that growing on the roof. My shed has that problem. You want some really nice moss chunks to, like, for an aquarium? I can get you a whole bunch off my roof. Of my shed, no problem. Whatever reason, they love it up there. Just wet enough, I guess, most of the time that it can survive. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I have a lot of it growing on that building particularly. Not on my house roof, but on my shed roof. I wonder. Thinking about it, I wonder if it's because my shed roof's not as steep as my house roof, and so maybe water doesn't run off it as well, and it builds up somewhat, effect-wise anyway, if that makes any sense. Alright, that got a good chunk of that. Get this area. We have quite a view from up here, actually. There's a whole lot of nothing. What volcano are you all talking about? I don't see a volcano. I don't even see a mountain. I don't see a hill. This is the flattest area I think I've ever been in. Well, maybe not in a game, but real life-wise, yeah. No, I've been in far more areas with hills, mountains, and whatnot. Not flat as far as the eye can see. Or, well, as flat as the Earth's curvature allows. Which, given the size of the Earth, is still pretty flat. Given, yeah, there's a lot to work with. On that regard, quit flashing that roof at me, I don't care. Okay, that wall's done. Next. Please stop flashing the roof once you're done cleaning this, I hope. That's getting annoying. Really built-in grime off the top here. Interesting neighborhood. They didn't really, I can see they put some real work into this game. Like, all the houses looking around aren't exactly the same. They aren't like, oh yeah, there was just a housing development. They all look exactly alike. Instead, it's, no, there's different houses, window module, like the way the windows and doors and everything are laid out vary from house to house. They did a lot of good work on that. So that it doesn't just feel like we're doing the same two houses over and over. Anything like that. Because this is what, our second, third house? Second house, I think. No. We had the one with the one guy's parents. I feel like we had another one. Maybe not. But second or third house. Whatever the case is. Doesn't matter. And yet the layout is different enough that it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same house that I had done previously, which could easily have been the case. Oh, there we go. That's done better than I thought. Alright, let's get down from here. Take you. How am I gonna get a ladder up? Wait, now I'm really curious. Can I pick up the ladder and move it over? Okay, but like, what if I fell off then? How would I get the ladder back? How would I get back up there? Is there a failsafe for that, or would that possibly break my game? I'm not going to mess with that right now, I think. Unless I absolutely have to. Yep, I understand this problem with the gutters. My own gutters are a giant mess. I really should clean them. Well, I need to do more than clean my gutters. I need to clean my gutters out for sure, but really I need to practically take my gutters off, readjust them, and attach them, and put them at better angling. Because right now we've got some that drain out corners that they're not supposed to drain out of, don't have, or they've been clogged up with, like, you know, bits of gravel from the roofing, to the point that they don't drain out the drain the way they're supposed to. All that, they've been all gunked up with leaves and who knows what from when we had a bunch of trees around the house. Had to take down a bunch of the trees because of issues where it was causing... Okay, well, bit of a story. My driveway used to have 3 big trees in it, between our house and the neighbor's house. They kind of looked nice, but they were a bit big, and they were getting to the point where they were more of a hazard, partly because they were old and probably not the best taken care of at times. One of them was a bit on the hollowy end of things due to what we learned afterwards, like after the company took it down, was that it was probably hollowed out from a lightning strike at some point in time. And we were getting a lot of issues where they were also being broken and bent a bit from like wind turning them. Whoa, okay, down we go. So yeah, it was just an accident waiting to happen, which is why a few years back we ended up paying a company to remove them. There was another issue we were having with them, and this one you may not think about having an issue with trees, but this was an issue we had. The roots. Not like the big portion of the roots, because you like usually see the giant roots on the trees, and you're like, yeah, those could get in trouble and whatnot. No, those roots weren't the problem. It was all the little teeny roots that they put out from the big roots were causing problems. They were messing up our sewage line, and who knows what else. But the sewer line was the main issue. We had a plumber come out and take a look at things because, hey, our toilet was backing up and all that, and drains weren't draining well. He runs a snake down the line, pulls out a bunch of little root bits, and is like, yeah, you see this? This is roots. Now, I could come back here every month and clean this, or we could do something, or I have to do something about like replacing the line with something that it doesn't, because it was, our line was the original like line for the house. It was like terracotta pipe, not PVC, and that sort of thing. He's like, you could get that replaced, or I could be back here every month to re-pull out these roots and whatnot. But the colder it gets, the more it gets towards winter, the crankier I'm going to be about it. And that means the more you're going to be charged for it. And we were like, yeah, that's fair. And also, no, we don't want to have that happen. So, yeah. How do we make this work? Come on. That's not working for me. There we go. Alright, we're kind of making this work. It's a little awkward, but we'll make do. Come on. In and out. Gutters are not my friend, mostly because the character doesn't quite like to go on edges, it feels like. And also because of the issue of potentially falling. And just getting the right angle to clear out the gutters. Alright, we're obviously missing something from down there. This one, let me drop down and do another check. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, there we go. Let's put you there. I'm going to get up here and go boing! Because I don't want to risk being the... I really don't want to risk not being able to get back on the roof with the ladder stuck up here or something and me down below. And having to start this level over. That would just annoy me. And that would be contrary to the nature of this game. And its goals, as far as I know. Targeting again. Gotta keep remembering to turn that on after I use the ladder or something. I think it's the ladder or the sprint breaks the targeting feature where I can just stand in one place and aim all over. Alright. And that clean chimney. One dirty chimney. Don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I've looked into the creepy symbols you found on the side of that house you're working on. Uh-huh. Go on. Turns out they're just builder's diagrams telling the plumber where to put the gap for the overfilled pipe. That's great. Wait, a gap for an overfill pipe? But why would that be on certain parts of the house the way they were? That's kind of odd. Because they're not always, like, the places where a lot of them were didn't feel like they were in spots related to piping. Unless it's relation to piping on the inside, like next for a bathroom's drainage or something, I suppose. Could see that being the case. Stuff is really a pain to get off. Alright, we can put that down. We got that, got that. These tiles are nice. I like this green. Or I guess it's more of a teal. No, not even teal. What is this? Aquamarine? Yeah, that might be it. Maybe an aquamarine coloration? Whatever it is, I like the look of this roof coloration. Very nice. Good. I haven't heard from the residents recently. Wonder what's going on in there. What would be funny is if like they had a scheduled like text for while we're on the roof here, and them being like, "Hey, we're getting some weird noises from the attic." It's just us walking on the roof. Something like that would be just one of those funny touches that I feel like go a long way. If done. Alright, that's one side of the roof more or less done. Now to get this side done, and I have to get the ladder over here on this chimney probably. Go. There we go. Oh, we got a little roof down there. Work on that. Alright, but first let's get this up. Since we're already up here and all that, unless I flip off, I'll gain this gutter here. Always all that. Yep, there it is. Well, working on it. We'll take what we got. While we're here, might as well get this angle since it works well, and yeah. Alright, back up. There we go. Okay. This window clean. Wall. No, one window down. That gutter taken care of there. That window, done with that one. Good. I kind of feel like I can get almost the same effect as the multi-purpose cleaner or whatever. But like the cleaning solutions just by with this decent range. Back up. Go. Come on. Stupid gutter clean. Oh, falling off. Thank you. Alright. And we are good. Yeah, I hope the sound level is better for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below with like the water level, if this is more... If this is better for you, or if you, for whatever reason, found the older, much louder water to be more relaxing. Because, yeah. I think I'll stick with it being quieter, though, just because it kind of goes contrary to how I want to use this game as like a hey, sit down and talk while we do something type of game, rather than a just focus on purely the gameplay itself. Which would be a little trickier with this game anyway, because it's as simple as is. Okay, roof done. I have to get that chimney done. Get inside it a bit. Go. That's a part of that done. Alright, I gotta get the ladder over on the other side, it looks like. Well, I missed some spots over here, I see. Still missing something here. Whee! My leg! That's done, that's done. Here would be good. Get along here. That edge. Nice. This was one of the areas we just sprayed with the wood cleaner while we were running around trying to get it done, as I recall. So it makes sense that some of it is not very done, while some of it is more so. Alright, I think this is the other bit of the Faxia we were missing. This is a different Faxia. Fascia? Fascia. How do you pronounce this word? I don't know. I do not know the word. It means something, but I do not know how to say it. Curse of the reader over the person with the actual experience using the word versus reading the word. It's very easy to get some of those words where you're just like, well, I know how to spell it, but is it French, English origin? Because depending on what it is, origin-wise, it means a completely different pronunciation. Be done. Next wall. Okay, yeah, the Fascia is... I'm gonna screw this word up so many times. Definitely seems to be interconnected with each other. Alright. Wood trims, railing, fascias. Eh, maybe not. Maybe we are missing some. That one's done, that one's done. Wood trim, you say? Done with that one. Railing, deck porch. Brick, deck porch. There. Wood frame. This area all seems done. Unless I'm missing something. Wood frame, yep, That all seems done. Or part of a building I'm missing. What am I missing? Done with that, that one's all done, that one's taken care of, veranda, whoop, there's a railing, okay, that railing. Forget to duck down and get underneath here, apparently it did. Railings, done, good. Alright, wooden trim. One of these corner bits somewhere is being missed. See it there. Or there, or there. So probably something up higher. Me grab you. Going around. Oh, there's a part of it. I see now. That one's done. Okay. So one more wood trim probably somewhere. That one. Not that one. Not that one. Where are you? Wood trim's up here. Must be one that is barely missed or something like that. The frame, forward, frame, and wooden trim. That one. Probably one of the wind trims along the base. And those ones. The frame door. Doesn't count a wooden trim there. No. Trim here's all good. Where are you? Where are you hiding? Wind trim. Fabrics, post and the decking. Trim. Another wooden trim still good. Ah, there it is. A little bit there, right next to the garage. Okay. Those last little touch-up bits are always where it seems to be the hardest, really, because they're like, I'm missing one little teeny bit. The house looks amazing, almost normal. You know what is strange, though? As you were finishing, there was a screech from the attic, so I opened the latch and something whooshed past my face, followed by a grubby gray feather, floating mysteriously down. I think it was Esther's soul leaving, finally at peace. No, that sounds like an owl or a bird. It probably got disturbed from me bouncing around on the roof and was living in your attic. Poor bird. Oh, that's just beyond looking at it. Okay. So what have we got next? We have the skate park. Oh no. That's 900 bucks. That's going to be a huge one. And we've got Clean the Shoe House, Great River County National Park. Huh. Martha Hubbard is our person to be. Okay. That name, of course. How big is this thing? That's a lot of scaffolding on the side. Okay. And then this one is Park Warden. Okay. Hold on. Details. Walls, lots of walls, ramps, arch. Oddly enough, this doesn't look like it has a whole ton of pieces. Okay, no, there's probably 6 walls, but mostly it's probably just really big for a lot of pieces because we're going to be cleaning all the floor and everything else there, I imagine. This one looks like it's going to be a lot more nitty gritty, weird angles working on it. Yeah, well, wooden trims. Yeah, a lot of trims and window bits and all that. Okay, we've got things to work on. Well, I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, hit subscribe to keep up with new releases if you haven't done so already. And yeah, take care. Bye.